And all right, I think we're. Are we live? I think we're actually.
Yeah, we're live.
Yes, we're live.
I think we're live now.
Well, this is an interesting way to start off.
Thank you for waiting. We've been running a little bit behind today.
I can do this. I got this right. All right, folks. Today.
Do it!
I'm doing it. Stop. Calm down. Just wait for me. All right. Folks, today we've got
Do it!
I'm trying to introduce the show, dude.
Dreams. Yesterday, you said tomorrow.
Today I
So
said
just
today,
do
yeah.
it! Make your dreams come true! Just do it!
Okay, folks. Welcome to Retro
Dream
Reload.
of success. While you're gonna wake up and work hard at it. Nothing is impossible.
It is with you interrupting me constantly.
You should get to the point where anyone else would quit, and you're not gonna stop there.
Why?
No, what are you waiting for? Do it!
What's in your hand? What
Is the guest problem?
Just do it! Yes, you can!
It's not that kind of a
Just
show.
do it!
Just calm down, all right? Can I do this? Can I do this?
If you're tired of starting over, stop giving up.
You need to calm down, dude. All right, you good? All right, you just stay there and catch your breath. Folks, this is Retro Reload, episode, I don't even remember now. We got Shia LaBeouf with us today. LaBeouf, I don't know, whatever, it doesn't matter. Anyway, he's on the show with us today, and he'll be answering some questions with us, hopefully, if he can maintain his composure. Jeremy, how about you kick us off with the news, man?
You want to do introductions real quick?
Oh, yeah. We've got Jeremy, fighter pilot, formerly known as the Red Bearded Gamer, right? We've got Turf, also known as Badass Gangster. We've got we've got Tyler Pugmire, now in color. And with us also, we have Shia, I already said that, whatever. And we have Red Blaze, also known as Zach Morris. Not the Zach Morris of Saved by the Bell, though.
I don't think anybody's old enough to catch that better than me.
With that, with the gamer,
No, I know.
with the gamer formerly known as Red Bearded, please read us off the news.
Okay, first in the news is the Wolfenstein is coming to hard copy in North America. Wolfenstein Old Blood. It's coming out in July.
So, what's the deal with this new Wolfenstein game? Like, it's not like the old original PC one. It's like the new remakes, right?
Yeah, it takes place before the New Order, I believe, and where basically this is kind of like the Get Out of Hell, the first light of the Wolfenstein series, I guess you could say.
Ah, okay.
It's interesting though because it was a digital download and demand for hard copies was so popular they're actually doing it. So that kind of goes into last week when we were talking about digital downloads. Are they going to take over?
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of interesting now. They're going to bring out hard copies after a digital release.
Well, this isn't the first time that's happened. I mean, DuckTales Remastered, first of all, did that first.
Yeah.
And
Well, I think what they sometimes do is they'll go digital first because it's cheaper, and then if they see that there's a big enough market for it, then they'll push it out. Physical. Because I guess there's a certain threshold after which it makes sense to have digital. Beneath that, you're paying more for the actual media and manufacturing than you're actually getting.
I got a question for Shia real quick. What would you do in this situation? There's a popular game. You think that it might, I don't know, it would do well, selling a hard copy. What would you do in this situation?
It's pretty interesting. Shai, why don't you just go ahead and...
Emerging gaming
Jump in there,
technologies operate within a nexus of social relationships that characterize the modern world. These technologies enable a constant commentary which has become the quintessential quality of power, often operating as mechanisms that dictate our action and preordain our expectations. The work interrogates the cultural logic of feedback as a metaphor and material condition. It is live.
All right, I'm going to mute him, and we'll continue the conversation.
We asked for a simple answer, not a freaking philosophy.
Yeah, I really figured he would just say, just do it. But
No,
You know.
he started instead talking about gaming mechanisms and Ghost in the Machine. I don't know, dude.
How did you meet this guy? Like, how did you meet him? 'Cause I'm kind of confused here.
Yeah,
Something was happening.
how did I meet him? You know, I could actually tell you the story, but I think Shia actually probably tells it better. It was actually the other day that we met, wasn't it?
I saw you last night.
Yeah, last night.
I was in the club.
Yep, here at Freddy's.
I saw who you with, too.
Yep, I was with my wife Lisa.
She knows you want her.
Wait, what?
Oh, no. She can't love you. She can't love you like I do.
Dude, seriously?
I said to myself that you must be out of your mind.
I thought we wanted to talk about it.
Else. You know you're wasting your time. Oh, no. Because she can't love you. She can't love you like I do.
We said we weren't going to talk about this.
My beat. And I'm needing your moves. Let's give it one more try. Let's get back in the groove. Because she can't love you. She can't love you like I do.
Okay. All right.
I'm confused.
Yeah. Please, guys, don't tell Casher.
Anyways, yeah, the old one.
That was actually really sweet.
Yeah, I mean, going back on topic with Old Blood, that was the 40 gigabyte download, I believe. And I know with my internet, I've had problems in the past where, like, after a certain volume, I can't. The internet just goes way down for me. Like, something like that. Like, it goes into like single-digit download.
Yeah. What if you surf less porn in the evening? Does that have any effect on it?
It seems to pretty much just be with the games. I mean, hell,
I just did.
if first time it happened was with Arkham City, next time was with Sonic Generations.
Okay. Is it only when you're talking like when you're downloading the game or when you're on like?
Yeah, when I'm downloading the games.
Is this on your PS3?
Those were both PC. I actually, now that I think about it, before that was originally Sonic 06 on the 360. That's when I first discovered that. But yeah, so that's been what's keeping me from actually buying the game. So now that there's a physical copy, I'm going to definitely go buy it.
Yeah.
So, Blaze, I heard you have some news that you want to talk about real quick.
Oh, yeah.
Here's your news.
Let's see. Now, it's kind of sad. I mean, the guy who created the House of the Dead, Postal, Blood Rain, the Dungeon Siege movie, Yule Bull, he's finally quitting the industry. Thank fucking God.
I'm totally devastated. So, I mean, I think that I personally, I think that I could make better movies than him. What do you think?
Yes, you can!
Thank you very much for that.
Now I got no experience that I could probably make better movies.
I don't even know who he is.
Me either.
I know.
Like I said, he's known for just terrible video game related movies for the most part. But even his original stuff, I mean, I never heard of it before, but I never heard anything good about that stuff again either.
Yeah, I'm pulling him up on IMDb right now, and I'll read off some of his magical reindeer gems for you. They include Anger of the Dead, Morning Star, Capital Punishment, Seed 2, Forbidden Empire, Prisoners of the Sun, Dragon Dog, The Profane Exhibit, Legend of the Red Reaper, Suddenly, Assault on Wall Street, Apocalypse Z. Where is this? Blood Rain, The Third Reich, The Final Storm, Rampage. Oh, Rampage the movie. You know what?
Ooh, that would be awesome.
Yeah,
That needs to be a movie.
I have
It's
to
not
say,
based on a movie.
I think if they made a Rampage movie that was just like 4 hours of game footage, it would be a better movie than any of his movies.
Oh, how about a Rampage versus Godzilla?
Dude, Lizzie would rape Godzilla. Don't even worry about it.
Hey, I'm just showing out a concept there. But yeah, basically, his last 3 attempts at Kickstarters and Indiegogos to get these movies going, it did not work out for him. I mean, he only raised for a sequel to Postal $29,977 out of $500,000.
I think we can raise more money for one Canadian viewer.
We can only hope that his threat that he's going to stop making movies is a promise, personally. I mean, that has to tell you something, right? If you only got, what was it, $2,000, almost $3,000?
Yeah.
And you're trying to raise, $500,000, and you've got like an IMDb page that's like 8 pages long. Like, if none of those people, because think about it, right? If you were good at what you did, right, then there should be tons of people from all those previous projects that you worked on that would love to work with you again on another project. And they would be giving you money, they would be contributing, they'd be sharing the hell out of it, and their friends and family and colleagues would be contributing because they want to help support their friend who's going to be in this film potentially that they're supporting. So if he's got like basically nobody in his social network that's supporting him, I mean, screw like general public. If he's got nobody in his social network, because that's where at least 50 to 60% of this money would have to come if you're trying to raise $500,000. Dude, don't be hating the viewers, right? Like, hate the fact that everybody that you've worked with previously thinks you suck.
Yeah, that was back in 2003. He tried on Indiegogo for a 3rd Rampage movie of his, and he only got 6,375. Even worse.
I think
he would have advertised better after he gave money to a Rampage movie. Just saying.
You know what?
It's got nothing to do with the game.
But it should.
I think the attempt to remake Night Trap Revamped, got more money than he did.
Yeah, he ended up just going apeshit on his personal YouTube channel, just calling out pretty much anybody, and where he tells you that he goes on what the site I'm using, which is, I can't even pronounce the name of it, but the epic rant ends with him putting out a call to kill the rich, which I find funny because he says in the video before that he's got enough money to retire right now and make it to the end of his life.
If he makes a video of him ending his life, I will help him kickstart that.
That's cool.
Ooh, I got dark.
Yeah.
Okay, let's focus back on the news.
I didn't mean for real, guys. Like visual effects and all that other stuff, right?
Oh yeah.
That's
backpedaling now.
Yeah, like show us like make a video of like different ways that you could die, right? And
you were that dude that rented Faces of Death, weren't you?
No, he's the one who created the series 1,000 Ways to Die.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's a good show. No heat.
I'm not saying he has to die for real. I'm just saying,
Yeah, I'll put a link to the article in the description below later.
All right.
What's
back to the news?
Yeah, back to the news. We got a couple other things on there, don't we?
Yes. The Video Game Hall of Fame has its first inductees, which is Super Mario Brothers, Pong, Pac-Man, Tetris, World of Warcraft, and Doom.
Now,
I guess it's Video Game Hall of Fame now.
I guess, technically, it depends on what they put these games in there for, right? I can certainly understand games like Doom and Mario and that kind of stuff. World of Warcraft, if they're trying to, attribute that to, the growth of massively multiplayer online gaming, I think I would have to tip that one to Doom as well.
Yeah, but it wasn't.
I did World of Warcraft for a Zelda game. That's what I want to know.
Well, Warcraft wasn't the first, but it was the biggest.
It's the biggest and most successful still.
Yeah,
I mean, there's no
they
doubt
didn't
about it.
create the genre.
World of Warcraft
Sorry.
is a cultural phenomenon. Everybody, even if you don't play games, you know some dude that played World of Warcraft. It's just a fact. So, I mean, yeah, it deserves to be in there. It's huge. It's massive. It's bigger than most games today.
Yeah, I mean, how big is the install base? In the millions?
Yeah, I mean, how many games have an active community that big? I mean,
Exactly.
games come and go. World of Warcraft's been going on for, what, 10 years? I mean, something ridiculous.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it deserves it. It's huge.
Yeah, I mean,
It
I
ruins
can't argue.
people's lives. That's a game.
I personally can't argue with any of the ones on that list there.
I guess I'm just like kind of curious, like what the criteria is, right?
Well, the Hall of Fame, I mean, I don't know how official this is because it's at the Strong Museum of Play. So it's not like, I don't think it's like an officially sanctioned thing. I think it's more just this museum. Yeah.
But, I mean, who would sanction it anyways? I mean,
Exactly. I mean, I don't know how this all works, but I don't think it's like this super official thing.
Yeah, as long as it doesn't end up like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. There are so many things wrong with that. But who would be some people that you would think would be good for the Hall of Fame next year?
So, okay, somebody recap who was in there this year. We got Mario Brothers. We got World of Warcraft, Pong,
Pac-Man, Tetris,
Pac-Man,
and
You have to
Tetris.
play a Zelda game next year. You definitely got to play any Zelda game.
Zelda, yeah, Sonic.
Well, let me be devil's advocate here on this one, right? Like, you can't just throw out games because you love them, right? And I'm sorry, but I think Zelda falls in this category, right? Like, what would be a legitimate reason to put Zelda in the Hall of Fame, other than the fact that you love Zelda?
Well, no, it
Biggest
established the
mainstream adventure
genre.
game? Or
Yeah,
action adventure game?
It's one
Well,
of the first games that had an open world like that.
I would give that to Adventure for the Atari 2600, honestly.
I was just going to
Adventures
suggest that.
suck, though.
But
Just because Adventure did it first doesn't mean it did it well.
Well,
but it created.
Raiders of the Lost Ark, right? Also very similar. Fighter Pilot's very favorite Atari game, E.T. Right?
But did they even touch the scope that was Zelda? I'm not just saying that Zelda did it. You know, they didn't do it first, or The Legend of Zelda didn't do it first, but it did it the best, and it put it more on the map than, you know, E.T. E.T. did not put the adventure genre. Nobody copied E.T.
I'll be honest.
No, you don't look at an adventure
Yeah, I mean-
game and see that that's a E.T. clone. Everybody calls it a Zelda clone, right?
I'll be honest with you. I don't even know that it did it the best. Golden Axe Warrior.
I mean, I'll say right now, favorite game, Link to the Past, as far as Zelda games go. But I'll definitely say the original NES one should go in.
Yeah, you got to put the original in.
It's definitely iconic, but I think Chris is right. I don't think it really created a whole lot. I mean, it's a great game, and like I said, it's certainly iconic. But it didn't create anything.
I would put, and this is going to RPGs now, but I would put something like, you know, if you're talking about like creating a genre, like almost from scratch, and you're talking about expanse and scale and everything, I would actually throw down either Crystalis or Final Fantasy for the NES as like really game-changing games. I mean, those were really games where it was like, holy crap, when the hell does the game end? When is it done? Like, this game is huge.
Yeah, I think another good one would be the first Metroid in terms of scope.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would also argue the original Sonic, because that created probably one of the most famous rivalries between Nintendo and Sega.
Well, and I think too, you know, Sonic can definitely make a claim for like one of the fastest video games, right? Of that particular era, of that genre. I think Sonic was really the first game that, like, even racing games of like the Nintendo era and Genesis era never really captured speed. And then here you have this side-scrolling platformer where, like, sometimes it literally went so fast you don't even know what the hell's going on. And that actually was quite a thrilling experience. The way that they kind of crafted the levels and stuff. So.
All right. And these are the video games that we're talking about themselves. So I would also say Super Mario 64 because that was like the first 3D platformer that actually worked and kind of set the bar for what came after it.
I agree with that.
Well, it depends. I would say you've got Sonic 3D, right? Oh, I'm sorry.
Sonic Jam?
I'm sorry, you said that actually worked. Never mind. I withdraw my...
GoldenEye 64.
Oh, without a doubt. That brought the first-person shooter to everybody. So, yeah, GoldenEye for sure.
Yeah, it was one of the first
successful...
It was one of the first successful FPSs on a console.
Well, I guess, and here's the question, right? Like, because Doom, right? I'd be doubtful if they included the console version of Doom, because the console version of Doom wasn't really a competent console version of that until like PS3, in my opinion. So, like, if we're talking PC games as well as console games, I think Doom would throw the smackdown on GoldenEye. Doom established the first-person shooter genre. Period. End of story. Like as an actual,
GoldenEye brought it to the consoles, and not everybody was a PC gamer. There were more console gamers, I would argue, at the time. So I'd say that GoldenEye probably brought it to the masses. It started the console first-person shooter craze, or say craze.
Like I said before.
But there were shooters on consoles before that, though, too.
Yeah, but that was
not
the first
of that magnitude.
Yeah.
You guys don't think
there were baseball players
dinosaur
before Babe Ruth, right?
Okay, we all get one vote right now. We each take a turn. Chris, who do you put in next year?
Who would I put in next year?
You get one vote. Who do you put in next year?
Skip me. Make me go last. I have to think about it.
Okay, Irv, who would you put in?
Probably Legend of Zelda.
Okay. Red Blades, who would you put in?
I put in Sonic.
All right. Pugmire, who would you put in?
If we're talking games, Metroid. If we're talking people, probably Shigeru Miyamoto.
Oh, okay.
We're just talking about the games, right?
The games, yes. Also Metroid.
I'll put a picture from Atari in the Hall of Fame. How about you, Chris?
I would actually put not necessarily game, but a game adapter device, the Game Genie.
Ooh, that's not a bad one. That's actually a really good call.
Yeah, I mean that single peripheral, right? You got like the lawsuits, you got them like trying to redefine like what does derivative work mean? You've got just the sheer like when you think of the hackery like I got frustrated one time because I was trying to use I had the Game Genie for the SNES and I was trying to use codes on the SNES version of Mortal Kombat 1 to make the blood colored red. And I had all these different codes that worked in the emulators but did not work on the SNES. And, come to find out as I go to do some research, there are actually only the launch model of the SNES is compatible with every Game Genie. They actually, Nintendo kicked out other models of the SNES where they lowered the voltage specifically if they detected a Game Genie plugged in so that it wouldn't have enough power to keep the program in its memory. So you could go to you'd get the screen, you could put in the code, you'd start the game, and it wouldn't work. So people were like, this Game Genie is a piece of crap, and they'd like chuck it. So because they couldn't get them to like outlaw it. But anyway, before I realized that that's what was happening, and I swapped my Nintendo console at a local shop for another one that did work. He knew it. I went through the whole deal with him. And he happily let me go through like 8 different consoles in his store until I found one that my Game Genie actually worked with, and then I just did a straight up trade and left. Really great guy. Yeah, but before that, I'm like reading like, how does the Game Genie actually work? It's not magic, right? There's some tech behind it. So I mean, these guys like figured out how to hijack code and inject other code in between it, how to hijack variables in the game and reset their values at certain points. I mean, that's pretty friggin' impressive from a technical feat. Certainly allowed for some pretty amazing. There's games I beat that I never would have seen the end of without the Game Genie. And Mario, man. Mario 1, you can have so much fun just putting in random codes and watching what it does to the levels and stuff. So.
Okay, you guys want to move on to Mirror's Edge 2?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So Mirror's Edge 2 is now called Catalyst. Dev stress this is not a sequel to Mirror's Edge 1.
See,
Damn it.
I was bummed to hear that. So is this like going to be like a spiritual successor then, do you think?
I never played the first one, but since they're saying they're probably going a whole different direction, I have a feeling.
I don't know. I mean, I really enjoyed personally, I really enjoyed Mirror's Edge. So, I think Shia, you even, you know, if you can kind of keep your temper and all that other crap, you played Mirror's Edge before, right? I mean, what's the, you know, what are your opinions on Mirror's Edge?
Running, reaching, falling, skipping, turning, sliding, walking. These are all words that describe ways of... Each action is packed with many micro-movements. It's hard for us to recognize these small movements individually. When describing how to walk, we use the simple...
All right, you're lagging and on board, so we're just going to move aside. He is right, though. A lot of walking, running, jumping, scraping, sliding. That's pretty much Mirror's Edge, right? So if the next game has that, then I guess it'll be good enough, right?
Honestly, I don't know.
Did anybody play Mirror's Edge? I know it was like a
Yeah.
bargain game for a while. I never played it.
I beat
To
it.
be honest.
Played it and beat it. Yep.
I'll admit I haven't beaten it, but I do enjoy the game a lot.
Really?
Yeah.
I would
I'll
actually
check it
say,
out, man.
I would actually say, like, if you were to put a title every generation into the Hall of Fame and not just say like of all time, there's actually a lot of games I would submit, and Mirror's Edge would actually be one of them. Mainly because I think Mirror's Edge was like the first. It was the first game since Doom that, for me, really kind of captured that whole, like, you know, you are the person. You're not just put in first person, right? And I guess what I'm getting at is, like, in Doom, when I first played Doom, I was dodging, like, the imp fireballs and stuff, moving, like, left and right, and I'd find myself ducking or, like, you know, panicking and stuff. And the reality is that no other first-person game after that really kind of captured the same. I got into Unreal Tournament and Quake and all these other, you know, things that came along after, but I don't know if it's because the games got faster or whatever, or I just got, like, kind of, like, used to it, but none of the other games really had me doing that whole, like, I was really into the game. And then I played Mirror's Edge, and even though I'm playing it on PS3 with, like, thumbsticks, I mean, the impression of speed that you get as you're running and climbing and parkouring and everything, I mean, when you get really good at it, where you're able to, like, you know, run across a half pipe and climb up the side of a building and all this other stuff, when you really get a good run, I mean, you do get quite a rush. So to actually capture in a game so, you know, artistically, I guess, you know, what parkour is and everything, and to really get the feeling that you're doing parkour when you're really just playing a game, that kind of impressed me. I hadn't played a game since Doom that had done that.
Yeah, I mean, personally, my big problem is just EA in general, so that's kind of why I'm just being I'm being very cautious with it. And
I don't know if you've ever heard the full length. The title sequence is actually a full song. They actually got, I don't know who she is, but they actually got, like, a music artist in, and she sang the whole theme, Still Alive. There was a music video. I mean, the music video and the song stand, you know, on its own. So
yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna be cautious about Catalyst. I don't know. I was so hyped when it was Mirror's Edge 2, but I don't know. Just EA's kind of been
EA.
Yeah.
Well, the thing to keep in mind, right? Here's the thing to keep in mind. EA is the publisher.
Yeah.
Right? So there's an actual team, right, there's an actual team, an actual micro company underneath the umbrella of EA that's making the game. And what we know already is the previous game, in my opinion, the previous game that they made kicks ass. So if I had not, I went back and acquired Ico for the PS2 after playing Shadow of the Colossus. I'd written both of them off. I never noticed them when they came out, didn't really think much of them. Shadow of the Colossus was so amazing that even when I learned that Ico was little more than a spiritual successor, it wasn't a direct sequel or prequel, I still went and got it because I was like, if Shadow of the Colossus was just this freaking amazing and it's the same team that made this game, it's going to be amazing. And sure enough, I wasn't. There are two things. Right? The camera was still quirky, but the game, in spite of the camera, was still amazing. So I would keep an eye on this follow-up game, even if it's not the Mirror's Edge that you're hoping for. Let's see if the company has a track record of just bringing us awesome games.
Yeah, no, I know that. I mean, I backed Bloodstain, which is the next Igavania. I'm just liking that term more than Metroidvania.
Yeah.
But, I mean, DICE is working on it, and they're also working on Star Wars Battlefront at the same time, so that's also another reason why I'm being a little bit more cautious with this.
Yeah, but I guess it really depends, right? I mean, if they already have a game engine, right? I think it's easier to build a game than if you're trying to come up with the engine. So the Mirror's Edge engine was pretty well established. You already know that it's portable because it was on multiple platforms. So, you know, if they're just really revamping it for like 60 frames per second, 1080p, right? And then building all their other, bringing their textures in, doing their world building and stuff, I could see them totally doing it. Star Wars is kind of the same thing. I don't think they're starting with a clean slate with Star Wars. I think they have an existing, you know, infrastructure of
They're probably using the battlefield.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that, you know, when you're not, in the past, you used to have to build your own engine as well as the game. Now where they can kind of bring the engine in, the game is just, you know, how long it takes for you to flesh out your idea. So I'm with you. I'm cautiously optimistic. Hopefully they release a demo.
Alright, shall we move on to the next piece of news, or does anybody have anything else to say?
I got one more on the news. It's
Alright.
Xbox One and PS4 getting new Dungeons and Dragons RPG.
I have yet to actually play Dungeons and Dragons at all, so kind of.
I figured the guys over at VG Collect, a lot of those guys are board game guys who like this news.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, we need to shout out VG Collect right now. I mean, yeah, we're all members of the forum there. Great place. People need to go check it out. Shia, have you ever checked out the forums at VG Collect? I mean, is that ever? You really need to. It's a great place to catalog your collection.
Yeah. Are you there, Sean?
We're surrounded by forums. Yet it's still so elusive, right? You know, sometimes it feels like we fill that void between us with something that grows slowly.
Yeah.
Like it's overtaking us or something.
Yeah, sometimes like my game collection.
The way we speak or what we do, where we put stuff around us, even like the stances we inhabit, or like the faces we make, or even the body parts, you know, the food we eat, whatever. Sometimes it gets heavier, you know, or more light, but it's like all the distinctions are starting to melt away. The forms.
Yeah, we were saying forums, not forums, but I guess, you know, it doesn't even matter. VG Collect is pretty darn cool. I reached that point. Somebody posted in we'll tangent for just a second. Somebody posted in a topic in the forums about reaching a plateau, right? And I know me personally, I've kind of gotten to that point now. Like, there's only, I think, like 8 or 9 items left in my wish list. Every now and then I'll still do a random, like, you know, impulse buy, like a, you know, broken Game Gear. But like for the most part, like even like a collector friend of mine who's actually on VG Collect, he calls me up the other day and he's like, dude, like I got this box of boxed games off of Craigslist and everything. He's like, let me go through them and like if there's anything in here you want, like let me know. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, Blaster Master. I'm like, no. He's like, Ninja Turtles. No. He's like, Turtles in Time. I'm like, no. It's like he's like, man, what are you looking for? I go, Shatterhand. He goes, oh, that one's impossible to find. And then he goes, anything else? And what was the other one? There was one other game.
Power Blade 2?
Mutant League Hockey. And he goes, yeah, I can't find that one either. So, but it's like, I'm getting to those same games that, like, everybody's just having a hard time finding. Everything else is, like, filled out. So, like, you go from, like, oh, wow, I got this box of games, like, even before, he's, like, all excited, right, because he thinks that he might have something in there that he can, like, resell to me. And I'm just like, I'm already, like, not excited because I know 99% of the stuff I already have, and the other 2% of the stuff I don't care about.
That's nice, man.
Yeah.
I actually posted in that same topic you're talking about the collection plateau. I have kind of reached a similar point. I mean, there's a lot of stuff I want, but I was looking at my collection and I realized there's a lot of stuff I haven't even touched. So I personally haven't bought a game since New Year's Eve.
Wow.
Of last year. Yeah, it's kind of a self-imposed. No, it's like a self-imposed plateau. I'm not going to buy anything until I play a good amount of what I already own.
Yeah.
And
right now I'm at a wallet plateau.
Well, and the other thing is not owning a PS4 or an Xbox One or a PS3 or anything else. There's only one current console, the Wii U, that I own, and there's not a whole lot on it that interests me at this point. So.
Although I gotta say, right. Well, first, I guess, Turf, I'm interested in your take, right? Like, where does one who almost has every friggin' NES game ever released, like, where do you go from there?
Dude, I don't know. That's what I'm trying to figure out right now. I want to keep. I've got 35 left, and I'm hopefully by the end of this year I'll have them all, or have all but stadium events. I'm not gonna buy stadium events unless I find it in a Goodwill. But I don't know. that's the answer. I don't know where I'm gonna go. It'll probably be I'll focus more on. I really like Sega Master System, and then it'll be more like my Super Nintendo collection is more very selective. I'm not trying to get every game. I just want to get the games that I play because Super Nintendo is very expensive. And I don't know. I may go to. There'll be something else because by nature I enjoy collecting. I like going and looking. I like digging. I think I'll probably try to complete my Nintendo 64 set because I'm pretty close to that. But there's always, for me, because I enjoy the hunt. I enjoy finding something. I enjoy that feeling when I find a deal or find something new. There'll be something to fill that void because I enjoy the.
Yeah,
here you go.
I appreciate it. He's gonna do it. Don't worry.
I will do it. I'll do it and you'll like it.
So yeah, for me, I guess it's like, because I know some people, right? Some people are just like they burn out with the whole thing, and they're just like, I've seen people like they'll amass these giant collections, and then all of a sudden like they have this like giant purge, and I'm not gonna go that route. Definitely what I've taken all the time to acquire and the expense to acquire and everything, I fully intend to to keep. But at the same time, like I'm thinking probably once I've actually, now that it's died down quite a bit, probably what's going to end up happening is for me going through the backlog, right? Because I got a whole bunch of stuff. I haven't played all the stuff that I got, so to just actually go through the backlog and take some time to enjoy those games that I got, I think will be a good thing. The other thing too is I think I can devote more time and attention to to other things. Like I'll have more. Part of the reason I actually first started my collection was because I wanted to do a video game show and I wanted to talk about games that I liked, and I wanted to make sure that I had the games on hand. It's one thing to talk about Sonic 2 for the Game Gear, and another thing entirely to actually have the game, be able to show footage, things like that. So I didn't want to have to go online, like Google for other people's footage of a game that I liked and all that. If I'm showing footage, I want it to be footage of like my playthrough of the game and stuff. But Red Blaze, what are your, you've got like I see racks and racks and racks of games. Like how complete do you think you are in your collection, and do you think have you hit a plateau, or do you think you ever will hit a plateau?
I have kind of done like what I don't know quite how I want to put it, but I've lowered the amount on my wish list. Just doing that. I mean, for me, it's mostly just I don't want to pay the prices that some people are asking for certain games.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, I would love to own the original Shantae game, but there's no way I'm paying $200 plus for that.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Don't do it.
That's right.
No.
Don't do it.
No. But I mean, luckily I'm only down to one more Wii U game that I want to get that's actually out right now. So I'm pretty happy with that. Got three or four N64 games I still really want to get. I'm slowly making it down, but just with the prices, I'm not a fan of buying lots on eBay, so I don't do that.
Yeah.
And
I guess it would be like the two things, right? One thing that's kind of turned me off about the collecting, one thing's definitely eBay, the scalpers, all that other stuff. Games going up in price just because, like, ridiculous. Games that aren't even rare going up in price ridiculous just because people know.
Yeah. Mario 3?
Mario 3, Turtles in Time. I rarely do I go somewhere and they don't have a copy of Turtles in Time, but it's always like $60.
Yeah.
Dude, seriously, come on. That's like a super common game. But the other thing I guess that got me is, like, personally, like, I can't, like, some people, you'd find a deal on Craigslist or whatever, and maybe this is just me being, like, broken, retarded or whatever, but, like, I've come to the point where I'm like, things that, like, we often think of as deals, like, if Walmart has a sale, or if Amazon has a sale or something, right? I'd say that's a deal. If Nintendo does a price drop on their eShop, right? That's a deal, I think, right? If I score like a mega expensive game because somebody is too ignorant to understand its value, me personally, I feel like I ripped the person off, like I robbed them blind, So like for me, like I guess part of what like destroyed it was like, okay, if I go into GameStop and they're selling the game and it's super, super cheap, deal, right? If I go and I'm buying some kid's like copy of like Shantae for the GameCube, and the kid only knows to like
Game Boy,
charge like or whatever Game Boy, right? And the kid only thinks to charge like $2 for it. Like, dude, I just ripped off a kid. What the hell? You know what I mean?
You're
Like,
a better person.
I did that I bought a copy of what the newest Call of Duty game off a kid for like $2. I went, traded that in, and used it to pre-order Super Luigi U. I paid it off, and where the person forgot to take off my pre-order, so I just went and put that towards Killer instead.
What did it for me was I was at home visiting my family. My family's off on the East Coast, and in the East Coast, in the sticks, they have no idea what the value of the games, right? So I was at this. I found this out by like happening upon it. There was like all these like trailer parks and stuff like that I was going to, and they all had like these like yard sales because I had to go through all these trailer parks out in the middle of nowhere in order to get to the next city where my family was. And so I stop at this one trailer park. This dude sells me Donkey Kong Country 1, 2, and 3 for $1.50 total.
Nice.
Yes.
And then like, so like afterwards, so I do it, and I'm not really like thinking, too much of it and everything. And then like, I don't know, just like my conscience ate at me, and I'm like, man, like, I read that guy blind. So he was just hoping to like have enough money to get a pack of cigs when like, he could have went out and bought a PSP for what he should.
I'm a firm believer. I am a firm believer that if you're going to sell something, you better know what you're selling.
Yeah.
Well, if somebody doesn't educate themselves on the price,
yeah, but here's the
my
deal.
luck. I mean,
these people probably, right? The only internet they probably could have had was dial-up, right? So it's like, it's not, I get what I totally get what you're saying. Like here in Silicon Valley, absolutely. You better know the value of your stuff before you put it up for sale. But like, you know.
You know what? Most of that stuff is just way overinflated anyway, so who cares? I mean, hell, I bought James Buster Douglas on the Master System for $3.
Yeah. That's how I consoled myself. But I kind of like got out of it after a while because it's like, especially like the thing that gets me the other way is like when you have people in the opposite like end of it. Like they think because it's old and all that other stuff that it's like worth a fortune. So they're all like, you know, like, well, I included Mario Duck Hunt and that's in the Hall of Fame. So, you know, you should be giving me like $100 for that.
Oh yeah,
well, Duck Hunt isn't in the Hall of Fame, so
Yeah, the label only has a small tear.
Oh yeah, I mean, on Craigslist, I mean, I can find Atari 2600s for $150 all day long.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to pay that. Why is it so expensive?
The local mom and pop, when I walked in, I said, "Oh wow, you've got a 2600 and like a console and games and everything." He's like, "Dude, take them. They never sell." So
Yeah, I bought
with a box full of games and a fully working console, the paddles, the joystick, everything.
Yeah, in the past, I've bought. I think I own actually 3 Atari 2600s, but I bought 2 of them for $1 each.
Nice. Yeah, my in-laws, they gave me the black Vader unit and all that other stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I bought like a stack of 10 Atari 2600 games once. I don't know why. I just couldn't find anything else at the time. And where I was just like, I'm not going to do anything with these. I'll bring them to the local game store. And I was told, yeah, we're not going to take these.
You bought them. You know, that's okay. I think we all, like, we should each go through, like, how many of us have seen something somewhere and just, like, you don't know why. Like, you just pick it up. Like Red Blaze, we picked up, like, a stack of 10 Atari games. Tyler, have you ever walked out with something and you're like, why the hell did I do this?
Not really. Well, the only thing that really comes to mind is I was at a thrift store a couple years ago, and there was a Sega Saturn for $12.
Holy crap!
Yeah. So and it had like controller and the action replay and a bunch of other crap with it. And I picked it up and I hauled that damn thing all around the store, and then I thought, I've never even seen a Sega Saturn game. What am I going to do with this thing? So I put it back. Come to find it, and I didn't have no idea. And then I found out that it was so expensive, I should have picked it up.
Yeah, the action replay alone for that is probably $100.
Yeah. Oh, I know that now. Thanks.
Wow. Perf, how about you? Any like, why the hell? What am I doing with this?
This last week, I mean, in the past week, I bought a Retron 5. Why? I have a Nintendo, I have a Super Nintendo, I have a Genesis, because they said they would sell it to. I half jokingly, they had $159 on it. And I said, I'll give you a $100 bill for it right now. And they're like, okay. So I was like, I guess I was stuck then. I had to buy it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, stuff like that. This week, I bought another top loader. Do I need another top loader? No. But this is my 3rd one now because it was a deal.
I do that with Xboxes. Like, I go to this local store, Savers, and, like, every now and then they'll have, like, an Xbox console. Just the console. Well, they have the console, and then usually, like, I can always tell if a console is in, because in the front of the store, there'll be, like, a couple new, like, you know, sports games. There's, like, you know, 8 new copies of, like, Madden 2005, and I'm like, oh, they got another Xbox in. And then I'll go, like, walk around to the back, and they have another area where there's, like, accessories and everything. I'll be like, yep, there's, like, 4 or 5 different Xbox controllers, like the Whopper, as Casual calls them, right? And then I go, sure enough, to the appliances section, and there's, like, an Xbox. So I started out buying them because I was like, wow, you know, for, like, the $9 that they're asking for, if I need to swap out a power supply or if I need to, like, you know, swap out a CD-ROM or whatever, like, I'll be set. You know, it's cheaper for me to buy an old one, even if only parts of it work, and then cannibalize it, than it is for me to go on like Stone Age Gamer or something and pay $20 just for the DVD drive. So, but now I've got like 13 friggin' Xboxes, and what the hell am I going to do with them? Don't answer that. That's actually for an upcoming show. I'll show you what you do with 13.
Send some of them my way. I have the worst luck when it comes to finding consoles. I don't know why. I'll get those ones where I get really good. I mean, I bought a Sega Saturn for $10.
Nice. Where do you guys go? Like $10, $13, you're finding all these friggin' Sega Saturns.
I only found one, That's all I've ever been able to find.
One more than
And where it was missing the AV cables and controller. But, anyways, Xboxes I've had the worst luck with. The one I'm currently using won't play half my games, and the other one I have, the hard drive on it, is completely dead.
All right, dude, I can. Well, you can probably swap the. Just open them up and swap the CD drive, the DVD drive with the one that that does play games, and then you're all set.
Yeah, but watch that one be even worse than that one.
So I tested.
So
You know,
that's
that's something
hard.
I've actually had a lot of luck with, is finding Sega Saturns. The first one I bought, which I was just an NES collector, and then I found a Sega Saturn at a Goodwill for $8 with a Virtua Fighter in it. So I was like, okay, I'll give it a shot, and then that opened up this madness that I have now. But anyways, I got that one, and then last year I go to Retropalooza every year and vend or sell my extras that I bought through the year. I bought one for $3. It didn't have any hookups, or well, I take it back. It had it didn't have a power cord. It had the AV cords, and it had one controller for $3. I didn't know if it worked, and I never did test it. I just sold it to a dude for like $10, but still, it was. I've had pretty good luck with a Sega Saturn.
nice.
Well, if you find another one.
So I guess
Actually, the one that I found, the guy went and checked in the little cartridge slot there to see if there was a game in there. He didn't check the CD slot to see that there was a Daytona USA in there.
There you go.
You know, that's the other reason why I've picked up these Xboxes, is that I noticed that, like, just about every Xbox I got that I brought home, because they don't include the power cable. They take the power cable and they put it up in the accessory bin, and unless you want to be there for like 8 hours, you'll never find the power cable. So, but I've got enough Xboxes now that I have plenty of power cables. It's kind of interchangeable. But I'll get home and, like, for me, it's kind of like exciting. It's like, will there be a game in there? What will the game be, right? But and I can usually tell too, right? The trick is to, like, go up front and, like, open the open each, like, game case, and, like, the case that's just the case with no game inside because they didn't bother to check. That game is probably sitting in the Xbox that they're selling, and they can't get it out because they don't have the power cable. So that's how I actually have not every. I have half of the 007 games for the Xbox because disc only, because they were, like, sitting in the Xboxes that I bought and brought home.
I told about
I bought a
the last
Dreamcast
Nintendo
one
Wii
time.
I bought here, right?
What's that?
I told you guys about the last.
Oh, sorry.
I told you guys about the last. All right,
It's
so I
the
told
third
you
time
guys
you get to
about.
talk now. Nope. All right, go.
Yeah, no, I
Go.
told.
I'm sorry, dude.
Do it!
But,
All right.
yeah, no. Last Nintendo Wii I bought, it had a Xbox game in it, out of all things, and it was upside down in the tray.
Wow, an upside down Xbox game in the Saturn. Nice.
No, Wii.
Oh, in the Wii. Yeah, no wonder they just. This thing's a piece of crap. It doesn't even work.
Hey, it wasn't working. The fans on it went.
All right. Well, I think we're getting close to time, so I promised Shia that we'd do this special segment called "Do It or Don't Do It." So we're gonna basically, you guys get to ask Shia, do it or don't do it on a particular thing, and he'll give us his response.
All right, who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Go ahead.
Should I get a Nintendo 3DS XL?
Do it!
All right.
All right, hey, Shia, I got a quick question for you. Got a little extra money looking to invest. What do you think? Should I go with a mutual fund, something with like defense or something, or do I need to go with energy? I'm thinking about going energy. What do you think?
Don't do it!
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Very insightful. He's a broker by nature. So, but anyway, Shia, T. Pugmire, he needs to know, like, next time if he finds a $13 Sega Saturn, like, do it or don't do it.
Do it!
All right. Are you sure? Like, what if it doesn't have a power cord or something like that? You know, and all that. Do you still think you should? I mean, do that or
Do it!
okay, do it. No games or anything either.
Do it!
Okay. All right. Excellent.
You guys are a fan of the Saturn, let me tell you.
He's a huge fan, apparently.
Hey, Shia, should I set up my Sega Genesis so I can play this?
What was that? Oh, Night Trap.
Do it!
But I mean, I got 3 power cables. I got all these other cables to hook up. I mean, is it really worth it to do that? I mean, come on. Is it really?
Do it!
Yeah, I think he's pretty.
Okay, there you go.
So
Don't do it!
don't flip him off, man. Come on.
Hey, Shy, I've got to go get my driver's license updated. They asked me if I want to be an organ donor. Should I be an organ donor?
Don't do it!
Really?
Surprising. I would like to save a life. I mean, wouldn't you want to save a
Don't
life?
do it!
Wow, you're pretty adamant, you stingy bastard.
Yeah, I wouldn't have guessed that he'd be so like personal with his stuff, you know.
He's very intense.
I got one more question for Shia.
All right.
Should our fans fund me my Xbox for my friend for $200?
I don't even know what you're talking about.
I don't even know what the hell you just said.
Wait, what?
Should our fans give me $200
We have fans?
for my friend's Wii U? This is to our fans.
Okay, Shia, I'm sorry. What he's trying to say is, should random people on the internet, give him free money so he can buy a Wii U off of his friend?
Do it!
Wow, really? I'm kind of shocked about that one.
Do it!
You heard it there, fans.
Just do it!
You say anything else?
Don't let your dreams be dreams.
Okay, I guess that's a yes.
You
All right, yesterday you got it. You covered this before. Yesterday he said tomorrow, but that's whatever.
Yesterday or today?
Folks, that was Do It, Don't Do It with Shia. I do apologize also. Shia, you didn't. Can I just say a few final words?
Yes, you can!
All right. Well, thank you.
I'm still confused by the fact we have fans.
I know, right? I don't get that. So I do want to let Shia, like, we've said a bunch of stuff. We've thrown a bunch of questions at him. I tried to make this fun for both us and for you. So I just want to close the show with giving you an opportunity to tell us what you thought. How you felt about being on the show.
You give me nothing. No mercy. No empathy.
Wait, what?
Only self-hate. To you, I'm just a fucking plaything. An amusement replicating the cries of man. You replay the last moments of my life. I'm just a fucking charade, suspended at the core of ridicule.
You need to calm down.
I pity those whose end mirrors mine, and I pity myself.
I didn't know you felt that way. I'm sorry. I didn't know you felt that way. I didn't. We're just having fun.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Well, that was certainly awkward. Apparently, Shia
Yes, it
LaBeouf.
was.
Yeah, he did not enjoy his time on the show, folks. I hate to end.
Disappointment.
I know. I
I do have one thing I want to say real quick before we go. The answer to our, if you've been following us on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or whatever it is, I posted a question for Trivia Tuesday today, and I wanted to give you guys the answer.
Okay.
So the question was, if you were following along, is let me pull it up here real quick so I'm reading it. So Mario has been known by a couple names throughout his life before he was known as Mario. And I asked what was his first name, the first name he was ever known as. And we had somebody say Jumpman, which is close. So before Mario was Mario, in the Donkey Kong days, he was Jumpman. That's where that came from. Before that, he was known as Mr. Video. Before that, there was another name It was the original name that Nintendo came up with. This is back before they launched the Famicom or the NES or anything, when they were still in the planning stages. The name they used was Osan, and it's a Japanese word, and it means middle-aged man. I thought that was kind of interesting.
Very interesting.
So that is your answer. It was Osan.
That's pretty cool. There's actually a little bit of a I'll have to do some Googling to dig up the story, but there's actually a story going around about Mario potentially, and the whole, eating mushrooms to get powered up and all that other stuff, potentially being the original creator's way of poking fun at their landlord, who was constantly coming over and acting in a way as if he was on, like, tripping on mushrooms or something. And he would always be there to, like, for the coins. He always wanted their rent, which was primarily where they were living. Like, the currency was primarily paid in yen and coins. So I don't know if it's true. I'd have to go back and dig it up. It's probably like urban legend, myth, whatever.
Yeah,
I've
I
actually
actually
heard
he
that
was
too.
named after his landlord in America, wasn't he?
It was the warehouse landlord where they had the Donkey Kong cabinets, where they were converting the was it not Red Alarm, the Red Scope, when they were converting those over to Donkey Kong machines. The warehouse that Nintendo was in was the landlord's name was Mario, and he cut him some slack on some stuff, so they immortalized him in a game.
Oh, wow, okay. That's much more endearing than the version of the story that I read. So.
Well, and there was also some talk early on that Nintendo was trying to acquire the rights to Popeye from whoever has them at the time.
Yeah.
And that was Mario could have been Popeye had they gotten the rights.
Oh.
So
Yeah, the Donkey Kong was going to be like Donkey Kong was going to be Bluto, and he got Olive Oil, and Donkey Kong was originally going to be Popeye, but they couldn't get the rights, so they came up with their own mascot, I guess, and they wanted something stubborn. They called it Donkey Kong, but it was a stubborn ape. It was a mistranslation.
What was it supposed to be?
It was going to be Bluto and Popeye. That's what Donkey Kong was going to be. Was originally designed to be, but they couldn't get the rights for
I
it.
thought you meant Donkey Kong was going to be. Donkey Kong stands for stubborn ape.
Yeah, they wanted an ape, because they were going after like King Kong or whatever, that type deal. And they were going for a stubborn word, and I guess they went in the thesaurus or anyhow and saw donkey, and it was just a mistranslation. Is how Donkey Kong got its name.
And that was your history lesson about Nintendo.
Yeah, pretty
There
cool.
you go. And that's unclear history. That's what that is. Because
Yeah.
I read it in I can't remember the name of the book now, but I read it in an actual book. A book.
Right.
I remember
read
hearing about that all the way back on G4.
Well,
Back when
you
that was a
cheated.
thing.
I read a book.
Wait,
And
books?
I'll just wait for the television show.
You mean those things, those paper things that come with my video games?
Yeah, well, it was like that, except for it had hardcovers, and it had this thing that they used in the 80s called a dust jacket.
Wow. Well, before we close the show, right? I don't like where we left stuff. Where we left stuff with Shia. So, I just want to, Shia, can I please, all the picking on you that we did and everything, it was all in good fun. Like, can I have your forgiveness, please?
Nope, all real.
Yes, you can!
All right. Well, that's good. So all's well that ends well, folks. This has been Retro Reload, episode 2. We want to wish you a good week. Tune in on Thursday, where folks will be, giving us another dose of Retro Reload, and this is pretty much it for this episode.
So just do it!
We're
Make
done.
your
No,
dreams
we're done.
come true!
All
Just
right, folks. We're
do
done.
it!